I'm up here in on my roof. Just came to do a little bit of sweeping up here and a little bit of tidying things up here. And but I wanted to take advantage of the fact that I'm already up here and show you guys around. All right. So right here, this is my solar system. This is the solar system that I built. This is how I live off grid. Okay. So this is my solar system, and there you go. And this has been a big blessing. All right, this has been a big blessing. So right now this is what my current solar system looks like. I'm over there. You see that all that dirt? That's what I'm sweeping up. I'm sweeping up all that dirt, and later on, I'm going to, when I have the opportunity, I'm gonna get a pressure washer and hit the whole roof, get it, clean everything out, and then resurface the roof with sealing. But right now with roof sealant, you see right now, roof sealant, it's like this rubber thing, and it's already peeled and stuff. So we gotta scrape all that off, and to prevent any roof leakage. But these are my solar panels. My system started. When I built my system initially, it started with these little ones, these little black ones. And at the time, I didn't have anything. All I had was a car battery, and I bought one of those for $30 online. And those are 30-watt solar panels. So I couldn't afford anything at the time, and the shipping on those was actually free. So I figured, okay, well, I'll just buy a whole bunch of them. So I bought that whole line. Bought every time I made, $40-50, I would order one. And I bought, I think it's 19 of them. And, I made like 350, 400 watts, something like that, worth of solar panels. Then afterwards, those were discontinued, and I was forced to buy these little ones, they're 20 watts. I just bought a few of those. But then I started buying the 120 watt ones, but those were really expensive because it was 120 watts. $120 plus shipping. It was just too much. But then after I did that, I was able to get these from Amazon, and these were actually better. These were monocrystalline, so I bought two of those. And then, with time, I was able to find solar panels that were used, and they, that they sold, locally. So I had gotten this real big one right here. This was like 300 watts in and of itself. And then I bought that one. Those were about, I don't know how well you can gauge, but these are about the size of a door. They were pretty big. And so those were the last two I bought locally. These one and those two. Those were monocrystalline. And those are monocrystalline. These are polycrystalline. Polycrystalline, you can tell because they have that kind of a blue tint. And, and if you look closely at them, I don't know how well it'll come through. But polycrystalline, it's kind of like what they do is it looks like it looks kind of glazed, because what happens is these are made by taking all the little chips of those, and they melt them down, and then they redo them, so it has a different hue. They're just as good. The only thing, those are a little more efficient. Those are monocrystalline because they're made out of one solar cell. These are made of broken solar cells that get melted and remanufactured, and then they make polycrystalline. Poly meaning many crystals. Those are mono, one crystal, just one, So those are more expensive. They are more efficient, but honestly, the efficiency is negligible. So if you have polycrystalline, they're just as good. So this is my solar system that I built. This is how I live off grid. This is how I get all of my power. And I wanted to share that with you guys. Over there is my TV antenna. That right there is a water tank. And what I do is I pump up water to that black tank, right? And I have a hose that goes inside of the house. So what happens is the water gets real warm. So if it ever gets cold, usually it gets cold like in the winter months. This time of year, you don't, trust me, you don't want to take a hot shower as hot as it gets up here. And you but there are times that it does get cold. So that black water tank right there, it gets filled up with water, and the sun heats it up. And then at night, if I want to use that to take a hot shower, the water is keeps warm. And all it is just a little garbage tank that I bought and used it for those purposes. So I'm just gonna continue cleaning up here a little bit. It's gonna rain, so I gotta make sure that there isn't too much dirt and debris, so it doesn't clog the outputs, because the rainwater comes through and it goes down, and it goes into the water tanks to get filtered and stuff, so you don't want any clogs. So that's what I'm doing up here this morning. That's what I'm doing. Yesterday I cleaned the yard, mowed the lawn. There's one of my main water tanks. This is my Kenepa tree, and some bird flying around. So that's what I'm doing today. My neighbors, they have a flag, Puerto Rico. That flag's not mine. That's my neighbors, But a lot of people have solar panels, here now. I was one of the first ones to have it, but I did it on my own. Everybody else hired a company to do theirs, So if you look over there, that house, they got a company installed their solar panels. Those were a company over here, But this, I did my own shit. Because y'all know me, because I'm Ruben Obed. Everything I do on my own. So this is my antenna. This is my TV antenna. And this goes down into the house. And this has a little button. And, if I don't get reception, I press the button, and it's motorized. And it changes, And so I put it on the roof. And I originally just had it just laying on the ground. But the roof has some rebar. So I put a little PVC thing, and I just stuck it there. I didn't make it too high because it works well. And, that antenna I had purchased, and it looks expensive, doesn't it? I purchased that at a pharmacy called Caridad here. This was $20, brand new. And it came with the cable and a little box. And, let me tell you, and it can supply 2 TVs. So it works really, really well, It gets really good reception. So I'm happy about that. So I got to do a couple of things here on this roof. Let me check this lid out here. Yeah, this is fine. Got to fill this tank up. Let me check the tank. See how that's looking. Pretty soon I'm going to be replacing. Yeah, that's fine. That shit is full. The little tank is full. The little tank is full. But the sun has taken a toll on the lid, man. Let me tell you. Look at that shit. The sun has taken a toll on the lid. So I'm going to see if I get another lid for this thing. The tank itself is in good condition, though. It's just a lid. I call it a tank, but it's actually a garbage can. And I bought it specifically for this purpose. So it never had trash in it. It's just clean water all the time, And inside of it, I put one of them toilet things with the ball, the little floater. So when I fill it up from downstairs, it just fills up. Yeah, man. That's what we do. It's nice out. The sun hasn't. It's overcast right now. So if you see. But even when it's like that, when it's overcast, you still get a lot of sun. And a lot of people, they don't understand the solar panels. They don't work on heat. They work on light. They receive light photons. And a solar panel, if it's too hot, the heat actually makes it output less. So solar panels, contrary to popular belief, they don't run on heat. Now, when the sun is direct, obviously you have more photons coming in. But on an overcast day, like the sun is out and it's not totally overcast, like right now, we're getting good power, you know. So this was a DIY install, and I've had these solar panels for about 8 years. They're all I didn't install with any hardware, just concrete blocks, and tied them up and secured them in case of an emergency, that if a hurricane comes. I'm gonna have to bust my ass and come up here and bring them all down one by one. But other than that, I do have a contingency. I installed these not too long ago, and they're anchored to the roof. So if it's a storm that isn't a huge hurricane, I have those yellow straps that you use for moving, So that's what that's for. Hey, what's up, William? William, this is my roof, bro. This is my roof, and this is the way I live off grid. These are my solar panels, and I'm sweeping up a little bit over there to pick up all that dirt, so that when it rains, all the water that comes from the roof and into the water tanks doesn't get dirty. So I'm just sweeping that up a little bit and making sure, So this is my roof. This is my roof right here. This is outside. Yeah, I'm not gonna be on here too long though, but I since I normally don't come on here that much. Hey, good morning, Josiah. So we have our friend William and Josiah in the house. So that's how we live, man. Off grid. Yesterday I mowed the lawn. Yeah, I'm on the roof. I'm showing people my DIY off grid life. Off grid solar. Here, Josiah, just in case you didn't see it. This is my off grid system. All right. It's my off grid system. The panels are different because I built this little by little. I bought throughout 8 years, been buying one panel, another panel, and I'm eventually I want to add another row of panels to run some air conditioning, but I ain't got no money for that shit. So as any money comes in, I buy stuff, and show you the view. You want to see the view? All right, I'm gonna do a 360 of my neighborhood. Hold on. 360. This is a 360 of my neighborhood. That's up the street from me right here. Okay? That's my tree. There you go. That's my roof. So, where does it all go to? I don't understand your question. See, it goes to town. See? And over the back there, y'all see the mountains? Let me try to zoom into mountains. There's mountainous areas in the back. See? So, yeah. Yeah, the panels are different sizes because I bought them one by one. So I have my, the way I did it, it's not like with a company. People that have companies, they all have the same size. But in my case, my panels are different sizes, because all I could afford was one at a time. So that's how we had to do it. But that's why I have different charge controllers, because every set of panels, you can't sizes without losing efficiency. So you have multiple charge controllers, and that way you bypass the whole losses. So them being different sizes in my personal case, I took that already into consideration, so I have no losses. But if you're running one system with different panels on the same charge controller, yeah, you're gonna have there. But I don't have that problem. I have multiple charge controllers, so, and I thought about everything. So I'm gonna. When I tell people that I live off grid, I live off grid. So right there, this is the yard, and over there, one of my water tanks, some other water tanks. Down here, I don't know if you can see it. I don't want to fall. It's another water tank, and there's two more water tanks. So I have about five, one, two, three, four, yeah, about five water tanks, and they supply all the water. So when it rains, the water comes down the roof and goes into the water tanks. The water tanks have their own filters, so it gets filtered and then pumped into into the house. So that's just like the regular water. Which tree are you talking about? Right here, this is my Canepa tree. This is the one in my backyard. And this is the one that has some little round fruits that I've showed you guys before, what they call a Spanish lime. Let me see. It was in season, but I think they probably, let me give a zoom to one of the fruits. See them right there? Those are called quenepas, or Spanish limes, but they're not lemons. Not lemons. There's like a little, they're similar to rambutan. If you've ever eaten rambutan, something similar like that. It's like a little pulp and you suck on it, so. I was looking here and I saw two doves. I'm thinking those might be the mama doves. If so, I might, I don't know. If those are the mama birds. Let me see if I can reach a Canepa. They're probably already going bad though. Yeah, they seem a little going. Anyways, so that's what's going on, man. Let me continue here. I'm gonna continue weeping here, but hopefully at some point in time, I'll be able to, get the roof sealant to fix this roof, because we're having leakage problems, and got to do shit on my own, But I definitely need to put some sealant on this roof. But whenever I can, these are all the projects that I have, and I have to fix a lot of stuff. So maybe like I thank God I don't pay rent. This house is paid for, but it's not easy. When you ain't got no income, just doing shit. As little amounts come in. So over here I got a big ass race on this part. I need to get rid of all these old things here. So I had gotten these aluminum sheetings, but there was still a little bit of leakage, little drops and stuff. So I put these blue tarps there temporarily, and they got all messed up. I need to remove that shit. And it's hard when you're doing shit on your own, man. Money, it's not easy. So if anybody wishes to donate to the channel, continue building and doing these things, if anybody wants to chip in and help us out, we live off grid, so it's not easy, but we make it work. Man. It's just step by step. Well, guys, let me continue. Let me continue sweeping up here, and I'll log on in a little bit. Internet signal seems to be getting bad anyway. So, all right, guys. Well, God bless you all. And if you want to chip in to help us continue to live off good life situation, you feel free. You can donate to Cash App and PayPal, and it helps us continue. All right, guys. God bless you. I'll talk to you all in a little.